you can use writing to work on active skills, which is the topic for another video. But today I want to talk about using writing to expand your vocabulary, to learn new expressions. I'm going to show you how I do sentence mining. So essentially, this is my notebook. I like writing down things with my pencil, and I also use different pens in different colors to highlight things, which is very important. And what I normally do here on this page, you can see I underline, I use symbols to like exclamation mark to highlight that what I've done here, what I've written here is important. And this is very important for me to, when I go to revise, when I go back to this material to revise, the sources can be different. I normally take a transcript from either a YouTube video or from a podcast. In today's example, I'm actually listening to one of my favorite podcasts, Gdzie na wakacje. This is Polish, Where to Go on Vacation. This is from the channel Płynie po polsku. By the way, I've talked about this resource in this video, where I talk about my favorite language learning resources. This is part of a series, and in that video I cover my favorite language learning resources in Polish. So if you're learning Polish, check it out. Now let's go back to the technique. Why and how I do this type of exercise. As I said earlier, I do this because for me it's a very important way to expand my vocabulary and to learn new expressions. How I do it, as I said earlier, I take a transcript of one of the videos, one of the podcasts that I think is useful from the point of view of new expressions and vocabulary in context. I just analyze it. I listen to it as I go along, or I listen to it the first time just without doing anything, and then I go back to it and I analyze the transcript, which is what I'm doing now. I've already listened to the whole episode, and now I'm going through, write down all the, not whole sentences, sometimes whole sentences if I find them relevant. Sometimes I personalize them a little bit. Don't write down isolated words, always words as part of phrases, sentences, expressions. You have to be selective. You don't need absolutely everything, but you need to understand what type of vocabulary is really useful for you, what you would really use in a conversation. And that's what I do. I listen.
Spędzę czas na dworze w jakichś bardzo miłych okolicznościach przyrody.
I notice,
żeby uciec od pogody.
and then I write down, and then I underline things as I showed you earlier. And this is actually what I do. Then following days, I always put a date on the top of the page. I normally go back and revise. This is not like exactly like a spaced repetition system in a way that there is not an algorithm behind it, but it works like that because I constantly, I regularly revise things I read on these notebooks. So it's very important. It's simple. By the way, I just show you what I do on my iPad. I got the app and I got a Google Translate. Occasionally I use on the other side ChatGPT for vocabulary explanations and grammar explanations, translations, whatever. It's always very good to have two tools side by side, your YouTube or podcast app and a translator or ChatGPT. And that's what you need. A few essential things. A notebook, some pens and pencils, and a few tools. YouTube in this case, and Google Translate. And that's how I do it. As you see, you don't need to download fancy cool apps to subscribe to plans that promise you that they will make you fluent in no time. Language learning is essentially something you can do with very, very simple tools. Today we got access to so many things, we are continuously tempted to download the next app, to try the next course, to do something different. But if you go back to the basics, you'll see that all these things work very, very well, and you really don't need anything else. You just need some basic tools, and you just need to know how to use them effectively. That's it. That's it for today's video. I hope you found this topic interesting. I hope this video will help you become more effective in language learning, and I wish you a happy learning journey. That's it from me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.